ese malungil sil se el morarogul adel tira imlos edel magar el tutahora milidio le direga ngara television kadam asel time lu podo mes tel program rigid regel to il ngia close to tele blur belau magabel metrigid moria tele del comes lo sengra uldasura adra blul kirel tianga mal milisi es el to lo sea adra bela tel sea adra del mimokal government le macrasin moni engul ultra utmal argid lo sengaria lam tel mom ngli government rigid yo to dawul swed seguir mal close el ngara what close clisi el ngara la constitution rigid article 4 section 2 ma section 12 ngari lam tel adra bela lo mesangi dil papir government yo reng sangi dil on dibra government yo to dawul swel kirel mar adra news adra ais mo michael to el mei o ais ma adra bela el time the mom sauda sel o meses el gotro close to telel el togoil so adra blur belar el al time ndiagal ngarang togora udo togora yosang el dart million el adra olbia gular el ang auror ngi etial dart million lata etiang auto det e momros moragabel mentrigid el lo la mashorgid ngari alla malted maklisi ed el momdangli egidar adra pelawa adra bekel blur al silami mokal government lo se ngaria mrula la ngaria ol tautalla ngaria ol tutaklalla o mi alla ngaria adra siobai ngaria adra taxi o ngaria adra omet ngaria adra ais ngaria adra news ma ikai gidel adra media mal cloud to tlelo senguk ko to dai gal to el mora kami mos ilo reng sempre ko mul de swiu le tiak langar kami mai galu to damo o siungia klangar git mal ubeng mo ulegu dia kadang lingle de menguk to meliak klangar git menggirem mentengai el altu tak dan tengatel lo bengela o bengedre langa ngelul benged te nomreka kumesingin namo telgi bertel programe esa doimang lagi mo atu organik mo mengelo asia gai gid le bui gram Melekeok e direk ku kania rolel mo bui ka sel tarabulun malaroid Lantcer Basilius o bengedre langa ngal besel el leitor ra blur ngaur e direk mo tal adrasio bara kwam belau direk ngarngia babier ngira school seldom godong lo seng Miguel MBA Irene diwaya artok tangama adra la telki bangar bab school mo mereka tainga ke imoringi le deng telara ke ngwa babier kau mengaria ma tolo tengai imorgo ngaria imora adra ngartel dire kul mengget tan nomrek ngang ima Irene adra ngangsang dingata te do bersiabal logro rakwam ay krel belau mendim lo tokoram digel
alitia mod mogora nepotisme Udesuall
kedemora budget tiagit ayo sangar bela amla momre ka senet amla kongeringi odrukli mora house elam tam saudringi era adra house ase el almel sande tira buk mol tobdringi dartel million e gida ngara pandemic kedamla engo diesel babier rasenet ma report atam longil subi otobdil wase ayo sangar gida amla ruebet mlang mangata ra del million seldo mudaseng local revenue sa ke ludo sois tax ma ke rogo rolel me sois belau amle 70 million sa 2018 el ang tiagi del covid aul lamada tourism el ang lang mangatel mo o 40 million kasi ngani o del million era da seneta o da dilulu se report tilo se tial el logo del million la bololar ngira logon dit no es probablemente lo hace di elon bula made el maul munde kabodo olga sanglete mo di el almel ragraudo dra october 1 mo en girel mo kata cost to spera order del katara basically order olga gula lo hace girel mo kata kodolana tel budget ngagote yakmel gol kumel rubal lo se kam koram satyang de korga Jackson emrugo tekel tipo modelo sa kumesa ka namo adra state ngaringi se part tra yo sangra state el 8 million mora apek state Imragong presidente sa lot of the el mora olbia gulang nilua 25,000 rapek state. Moda kal 400,000 and the senate halilut ngulolia. Mesegi damo. Imrago di ku ay sa doilo sa executive branch ra government bela 47 million ayo sangri. Kirro guilo bisra executive branch. Dito ay sila sa selko to klayo sangri hospital 11 million. Ya ko tilgrayo sangri asers ma omanget Michael sa ko tilgrayo sangri $1,661,000. Ko tilgrayo kirro guil ministry government. Sel kira lo moro laklet o makarigi de ko tutil kira la agisa mo bangala turis mayo sa kanya 1,665,000 kadi mo duli sa igi de mergo ka paski da selo sange mengi
Ma'am Saule Ngirmang, Irene, Congressman Basilius, Brother Shinji. First of all, Adelbai unique.
Kamu amai get tuju bila gede.
Lekada sa edal ngutel national budget tel mera media mga titringi Irene. Yang akan dekira guame you never see such a thing. Oleng mostly tiadi til masadringi televised mga damdingi. Di dia kasal malway gidal mal mga titeleng. Of course, the government in Palau is the biggest employer. There's 3,000 employees. So everybody depends on the government for their livelihood. Magtagidal budget ra national government blueprint rigid. It's basically a policy statement. Mas how do we allocate the resources rigid? Create the economic stability. At the same time, stimulate a private sector. So the budget actually speaks a lot about the country and how we proceed at arakal mong. Di erak por se ngirmag mil guest rigid. Nga ka taramlia mamlengal tangat Irene nak mikira guame so lang lo happen aknes tadir tel budget ragwam. They actually had a seminar about this. It was conducted by Gidale Community College of Guam. So I was able to get anyway, let me give all tab right there. Actually, I was able to get a certificate. Tiang akmal was saying fundamental of government financial planning and budgeting. And basically, tiagid. Esado ya ulak. Tiagid emat lo nga sirang. Lok mo gid other bela na mo gid rulia budget rigid. El wat tagid el bande de browsing ira public ma private sector. Matastadi ringi. So we know exactly how our government stands, where the money is coming from. Masih ada policy decisions. Yang kita melihat masih tidak bibilyar gid. Yang ba longa singa adra guame de Irene. Le tamarula budget tertir solang ol ta chart. Akto ol tagagi. Masaya da chart. To ol ta comparison ra previous years. Yang area pie chart mal lo ol mas revenue ngargel May. Ngarge beto ngala source ni maguk expense tir mangara pie chart sa doy so lang mal ngaria error ngi magdaman madek maseng education occupy 33% ra budget ra Guam 14% health and welfare public safety at 12.9 megarogul other expense mal specified akumda so namo giedruli budget terbelaw Mandiaga di dos tiagi del system, le tiago trabaran confusing Irene. For any layman, tianga nothing but a confusion. Namugire del change. I don't think it's going to cost too much to put this together. The matokara other mudura graphics, so really malungil budget. Anyway, as a congressman, state rangaure Irene, ako mesital budget and $8 million is appropriate to the states. Almost $8 million divide ringira $40 million local revenue, and we're talking about maybe 23% of that goes to the state. And basically, this is nothing but a welfare expropriation.
Kapsa di lang. Kapsa di welfare.
A welfare ak no se kada Kadidang okil di mutir tial tulagal kakol government. Ooy. High Q. Ooy. Di sukar tiagi del budget tamlo mention ra. Commercial Minister ra. Finance tamlo mention ik mas mlamo girela gal state di tilo siga create a revenue tier. Mal ngatya makmal iliwi. Tiagi mas executive believes that the state government must start helping the national government by becoming more physically self-sufficient, especially during these challenging economic times. A problem ertiang Ngirmang kami Irene, kami guest. It's a well-known fact. The structure gida da talamal. The constitution nakmulwa sa rugul klisi ng national government, may state tadya klisi. So you can create a law for revenue purposes. This kumang hindi ka national government, you're dead. And here's the problem, there are 16 states. So one state may want to do a specific industry, and if Koror doesn't like it, Koror will protest. When Koror protest, kumlam ko ditya.
Masungkuk sa kalungir na oror, hindi ka sorry, hindi ka semo to.
Hindi ka bolto ko. Kamdali, tokol other belawa, mal influence, people of influence. Nga rin traditional leaders ma leaders sa iglesia, ma leaders sa whatever faction, maybe even Chamber of Commerce, But if they don't like it, the state will suffer. Seguida, ula Constitution Miguel sera design ringi, iti man wasi. What does not belong to the federal government belongs to the people and the state. Give the Ngirmang, ang uselmet, emitikli, what's not given to the state belongs to the national government.
Constitution na sa igel klisi, il dial nga state mal undial nga national, sum moringit momentik nga national government. Idi klisi dial nga state mbululo ase, ambigila mo plito, idi klisi il dial nga national government mo state.
I see. Itel Constitution kita sila da debate ringi, hindi mo naklosaw da ikang. It was sort of embedded in there without really telling us. Dito sa dome sa history ng Miguel, tiako temlekol tarako temlek contestable issue. Ilangagi dili Alexander Hamilton, ma Thomas Jefferson am lokoto urtia. For so many months that say we're not going to sign the Constitution unless tiagi da motoy. The ulum lewin at Jefferson, ekwen was say, listen, the people who are going to sign this Constitution are backed by the states. The 13 colonies are backed kamam. Maulim lewin na at Thomas Jefferson, itululi ang Constitution del YC. Tiyang Ngirmang kumis ngi waya ngilua ngilua am lima am rigel may so lang ya a factory mula si diagam change ra barangur tial mlay. Egita me change ra barangur ngi against ra a factory specification ikboseng mal dingil manalam lay. So later gonna crash. Well, lagi nga crash all time, hindi mo makita Constitution rigid. Hindi mo nakadungil debate ringi. Sila din ka kaya Carlos Sali, ang getara founding father. Pag ganit mo siya, tang magara mo YC. Tek mo siya, kamamam lehay ra, taraad, girel keep our journal of all gagidal debate. Somehow, tek mo siya, pabora bitaral, mamolima, abiyang imam will call you when we want you to come. So at the end of the day, Irene, there is no journal for the Constitution of Palau.
Wow.
Minutes. So we never know what the intent was when they put that Title 11 in the Constitution. The victim ringi, so we have to pay $8 million every year. And welfare. So anyway, back to the budget. Congressman. Moral to ko, may gal state ngari klisi idi tilo sigaw dutir. Imagine how much the national government would save and how much the state would get the economic development, marada mo ra kabulurir. Isa la kaygel development, at tamal so di orior.
I see.
Mga tax sa sewer system retail bulu, maral, magengim, tapipiyusin na mo issue.
Iwa
altan. So, so take the budget, akpal wasi, let's give more states a way to create their own economy. So as a new Congressman Irene, I hope this becomes true because we have a lot of ideas for Angaur. We're building a new airport. Hopefully, the military is coming. And we have other private sector industry malungodar at asmaram. Ula ka baron akmalwasi. Sel ome malungodar asim le blan asim aling arat tablo asim mangirgid. Let's open those doors. Le akum das Ngirmang manam kumata tier and the founding fathers sergid, including the Malang Kalbuy, congressman, amle dokyol at. Say we can be independent, even though we didn't have the money, but they had the vision to say someday we're going to be independent financially. Why say? Say the spirit tagi the lobang.
Isn't that what republic means?
That's exactly. Why say?
Yeah, and that's why each state has their constitution.
That's right, a governor and Congress.
Just to thank you for inviting me today again. And just on that line of thought, in 2018, I checked with a friend of mine. I won't name the state, but the state annual revenue of 2018 was $1,800. The national, the annual state.
Jadi salary rakarat talbuilo. Salary average
$500 per, and they have 18 employees. If that was a company, he had gone down, broke, and and so I asked the governor. I said, "What's wrong with this? No, we have budget coming from the national government, and we're supposedly happy or satisfied, but the fangs of achieving something has been pulled out. So it's a puppy dog now. So I see that kind of way of thinking all over Palau, and I agree with you. And I hope and many wishes, good wishes to Angaur State. Yes, the governor is a great guy, and I hope things will work out.
I hope so too. Ngirmang, I'll make just one more point to go. Let's share a microphone. Ngaringiya tol tax reform. What a beautiful language, eh? It's nothing but an excuse to raise your taxes. That's what it is about. Come on, let's be honest. Ngaram dia duk masay, agi mo increase the tax remula na mo dia kaudod, so that we can face the truth. Let us say tax reform, Lord. Anyway, tax reform, another problem in Ngirmang, it's being imposed by the outside. Based on evidence I see, maybe I'm wrong. The ADB, Asian Development Bank, pressure masay before we give you any more money on loan, you have to increase your taxes in the form of tax reform, which is nothing but a tax increase. Sige that problem. So, if I was a president, Ngirmang, I will tell ADB Bank, I'm sorry, we're not going to reform our tax. Give us the loan if you want to help Palau. If not, forget it. We're going to look for another bank. So he should do the same thing. Irene, the best way to raise money for Palau is not through loan for ADB. Medabora Wall Street with a flota bond. I was telling Shinji earlier, I live in Guam for 15 years. One of my best friends is a guy named Kimball Luhan. This guy's specialty, Aurora Gida, his specialty is raising bond, Ragwam.
Alkam teligil smoditi lang.
Banda, atida tele Ngirmang. Until a sovereign bond, which is a government bond, hindi private. Sel banda form, it's like a loan ding. Other RSL band, other private sector RSL band, eka maudod. Segil ludod mo spiringi, eventually have to pay back plus interest. Hindi mo RSL band, mura magit. Ulang ko tangari orala, ako tulungin la rate segil band de Irene, like it's called a sovereign bond. A sovereign band ako tulungin even though you may change the governor or change the Congress, but the government will always be there. Maulang man ngarioleng, repayment ability is there. The government will always pay. Magwa raise their money through bond. Strings from ADB or all kinds of conditions and lao sa sibelaw. Gida nga hard times now. You increase tax on businesses, they're going to close a lot of business. I'm telling you this right now. You raise taxes, I want to increase my fee from $250 an hour to $400 an hour because the tax has risen. I'm going to pass all my cost to the clients. So I would fight not to increase tax this year until we come back to normal. The tel budget the Congressman Basilius done on unusual times. Kita nga unusual emergency times. I would never ever increase taxes during emergency times because at the end of the day, the business will suffer, and then what's it going to do? Tamay increase a pasal mora consumers. So you and me and Joe Blow have to pay for the expense. Makarala consume amorbap, maarala alu, everything amorbap. Kita suffer. Consumer spending will suffer. Anyway, sige daw number 2 point nga.
Kamo biski de Lantcer ako kulusem karuba malkora state se kukmora general se kada makarauri sa udo de. Kala de kan matengay mala kongreso se. Kita ngaring ya udo de del ngara investment tram digel namo over 300 million. It's our money. We can get if you assume kada malay ikato igel bundle alo ba igel stocks ngaring to ultra. Hindi kita matengel wasetia morba pe merio. Tia nombre karra ke mlo o 398. Embro ko sel hita ko bitra marchen mlo down mo o 3 mo no 298 down mo 233 el am lang mas el mo o 303 million. Masuk mo nga 50 million mo la 250. Hindi na kasi el mut mo mas hindi na kasi el dangale. Di at least ko ko swir mo ko tiyak bo the Lantcer ni. Doesn't make sense to me di kabo ka. Biskaw sa ngayon.
Kamu amay.
So lang udaling Ngirmang malungil tutaw. Orka Irene Ngirmang Shinji udale Jackson Henal tang langari adia menti mo suba sarnga. Adelbai. Endi udaling Ngirmang katam karato ngot tu lo bangkela adalo ba MBA ni ra. Atau ko na
kalau experience brother.
Hindi malungila point ringi actually I get lantung it's a fact. Yeah, facta is reality. El kita ngari del all time. Katamral ngar al sela pandemic, o sisil time to ka issue ra government. To kortial budget. Madire kal to kortial VAT VAT plan introduce ni rolbi. Ya dire kal to kay gidul ko kor omesel. What to ko era Corporation Act. Kal dire kal plan introduce ni. There's many things el tial government impar kan morngir elang. Hindi when it comes to reality tayo mo sa ringi may gigidul ko kudu del to ko era investment. Nga ka o marang luwa sa Olkeriil olbi la kalulaw ma executive branch al mo taw the swell. Lesel bol taw the swell ang sabihin manahil at ko. Yang ako o marang luwa sa tial investment trigger ng rapalura marigen al tang la sabihin nanding there are regulations that it's tied into. Olkeriil mo marang la aldo adu ulaban trira adram rigel in order for us to withdraw ay kel ko kengalak kersel mandate kung gira to withdraw. There are regulations in there that threshold ra artial ludu de mandi hal sebel lengalak malu ka damre edlok mamdi. Endi ako marak mun sebel if there will be a discussion tial olbira kalulaw mo taw to swell ulaban gela president mga to uring ito ko ulaban trira adram rigel maybe yang nasabin. Hindi ako daw ngali outcome. Ersay mo sabel hindi di tungol mortial ko fatras pandrigit. Yang betul kay gitu dengan alsel kita del follow in order for us lengalak la withdrawal kita say gitu. Makin tanu to sel to sa dan mas ngara investment then of course market goes up and come down and that's what it is. It's reality ra market. Hindi sel ko global cloud and so on mamla ni ya understand ra omol ko ring ito lay Ngirmang. Hindi akmlo sabi ko korang rapli ko omes tial like lurera tial nombre kal government makmlo pula be document se me omes to ko rabatset of course 109 million stated akumdas wing ngultuy resel almle aldo ulgible pasringil continuing budget authority al timlagi mol angarang ikitilu sa ere mentil continue all the way mamre katial first quarter sel oto mesringi ak mesra budget rel ang ngulo start ra December wo yo abal mer elang musay gida ul mul away say gida klungel direct kalmlaringa igigid ko pebira line items kirel mlamungu tamadubang mo continue legal to call lor SS ma ay kalmle appropriation mo increase SS ma al-amlora
ay ang harap pension
amlora pension mga may kaya ako ngek mungultur el seltial budget taw ul 109 million dito mesra level ra
100.9
madome seltial level ra budget think medro sisiu ngi ma level ra 2020 edir ko sisiu ay kan dos out ludo do mara state kalol ko traction hindi
dia KBS tol ngara seltial budget except 9 million el girela tel cross act sige sa di imol bes
in which is ang akumtas ng 1 million less ra last year ko am 10 million
dia ko sisiu Legislator 20 million by the moment lang 11 million.
Ay say 20 million at kim. Real ko ngilo oy. Mle ngarinya ko ngilo baby to sell loan ngilo baby lul kiwa kum dasan ablebe.
Sell 9 million actually 1.5 adulu spare ngitial. El cross actor al malmutra March 31st 7.5 right.
Mang ngigay ya telela hindi nga ka marang alwase ngirel mo ngaringi public awareness wayel membol klawat ran ni adra bulu girel tiang o sisil timing akmal Adelbai Minister of Finance they're doing a great job and I have to admit that my president is doing a great job mundi ya kume setteliliau do mora pension eliliau do mor SS edire galiliau do mora PPUC which ndir ko sisiu ngi may kay gidul sadra last year ndi ka mor say gidul to ko lol gorngi ya Jackson Henry are we going to keep on subsidizing
yeah ela tel yo sang next 6 months
why is it
April 1 and September ese report ra senet tulsi sebira setel budget malmle clear kidamla engko kidamla 70 million and now we have mo 40 million those pera adori million la next 6 months dit alona apo dabal mo seguid maul len balde ka choice rigid over the mare di umesel meirera olbile was giril kata costa October 1 la question was ngal go sa podkat e mo ko ya olbila kula kamade se tomoro ra budget ra July la onge with el bude tira gel toda sel budget gira next fiscal year
ngungil ak understand til ang nga kamlar olbil direk makaw magdire kamlar olbil udleng ma it's been a subjective matter when it comes to budget mahal po klowon mo may dal 1 trillion mundi dio sisiu mal 9 million na budget tergid mundi dio sisiu ak mga do ratara ruba kal nyam lar olbil latar tergel ko temlor olbil ang mga budget sel time atire kan dimle 14 million
sira gemsi sa natin 11 million
edi monday it's never ending it's never enough and it's never always short it's never always more ati di katringin al olbila tigira boktur sera April olbil udre Jackson Adelbai mlebeto ka sel omngar olbil mal beto ka documents mo lay so ya documents come from entities may gel ministry level ma arwa budget especially tungul mo na budget sel the kat maklia arangalela budget yar other finance mo oriol of the sel analysis tir sel ng FAA sa president ya president tangung sa ikit okore mo me otobrik ma set ikit ya away algo average gire de murmurtri le katangara projection okay we're not kita ta rula budget in actual it's always projected mung saygit yaul mangaringay kay gitu
Kalau Mr. Eli, sa kluku mo nga ultur
ultur Eli la katamay gel ara finance ma Trigel murur tial budget el mandate by president trigel mo to dil mo tungu sel 5 years ungul me analyze ni e otob do ur e sel otob do ur e kita mur sel average e sel average al volume sini mo ase ket kita amo budget endi sel gume tial budget ay get mal dimor sel local revenue e kita of course akada malaira trust fund ramrigel sel minimum 15 million
Makampak.
There's a direct malaira a source of funding ngay gitu book legislative matters bladrua tobacco tax ngay gitu ya mo source of revenue mo esel rangli tiar rogil budget tenya mer olbi esel ber olbi la direct kuk moe ya olbi la mala report tra finance tamala to report ngarngi financial statement report mangarnya revenue collection report lo laringira itself quarry saya otabdi sel dungul mor sel financial report sel lepas budget let's say 109 million every quarter ito tabdi report telmek mangaran ministry mla expend ratela mentela percent tamde mentela ngamla expend ya budget ringam let yagi mla expend ratela 20% ringi may gagi tamde maul misel gi moru la budget agi moru ringi mong yetire kan mongarngi agi mo olnga sa state malubagi mo aleng ngarngi other saying sa mamul play with hindi aki mengalak sel FAA
ela kamo seldo meset tial budget kam di ngura ay gelol ko Jackson was waya kwama ado representa amura ya school.
Yes.
Okay. Ela sel bukto meser belau ya 11% amora health. Ya 9% amora school. Ya 1%, 1.6% amora sers maomanget mato tourism. Umisay ya 8% amora state, 8 million. Umisay gido simsel do mes nga priority gido ngargel. Sige, el time kakmad ngay amring na the chances next 6 months dil agirel Udesuall ra tial mral mer ra ko sa kung nasul agirel set up priority kita agel maklor to tlel agel yo sang gidel mo kahale ba kuk to state nga ruba kam mention na state a state el ado mesa hotel ngari yo sang gi 397 ato obe masungsol 397,000 de Salvador ako tengar baba ore 1 million Ruang esam ruang melgo ang rami din ngara 400 or 500. Ela seguidre lang. Ngikal state lang ang sumo mga 8% ra national budget pai. Mga 8%. Iti ka ududel. Almost to ay gelo ko ang kagiro karuba kalwas. Ay mora state adi 1,000 some income niya tarla. Self state lo ko yak club din tiay gid malasil ko 397,000. A question el albel mention ala agire del address ngarai gel luror el sab el state mo ormul to kageza lo sis about dingil mngreger ni dingil o si kakalel dingil mngreger ni el dia sab el remul en calcul ada national government ta se dia klisi aki mola kamu mention ay gid le kana mo leitor la or the swim el am mngreger se tial ngaul ngara selo utulay bar sa kamara le race auto de malmarina boring.
I see. Umal to ko halatik use example ra tial oil exploration. If we're lucky Shinji-san and we explore and there is petroleum under the ground, why can't we do it? Eseklukir adra ang ayangal. Ngarama national government tambol merobra adra ang ayangal. The national government should help adra ang ayangal. Masay may gibus kami ang will guideline. Maobong ila ko matamal.
Lamomrek.
Oo. Musay ngaram dia implementing. Ngara what's the hold up? If I was the president, the first 10 days at masay bora international bid sige Adelbai export kya. Oo. Angaur.
Kabo.
Angaur. We are probably the most fearless state, you know what I'm saying? We passed the casino 20 years ago. For 20 years, dira ka casino ra Saibal, dira ka casino ra Singapore, marwa Vietnam, marwa Cambodia. We were the first one. And every time we come to the national government, etamukodi. Why? Because other states don't like it. Other states tamil makarkamam, so they just drown our vision.
Kung sa kalaluit, Del State, kala alit, Bela tori. Hal pa tanis sel ta do mo aklam.
Well, both.
Igal baby na sorry no.
Tirogol. Okay, kita terong brother, daras kwasi biyon mal Catholic high school mura kam. Kada madingeg di minua Biblia. It's not in the Bible. Maula, the religion is misguided by certain people. Because spiritual is a crux, you know. If koror dan like it or irar babal fine. But we want it. Whatever happened to democracy, Shinji-san, Congressman? This is why sila the root the independence movement. Tikma say, "Rbulu morengs, moria constitution regid, egida oitial trusted to na saibal am dialog regid regid. Di mo gidel mo regid. Alo up, tamna replace ra a TT government and multial cruel government. El ategida is el master regid ela. Maulog egal state dim abul. They should give them the chance to do what they want. A national government, all masew. That's what it should be. At taragil buruk nukro yagidele cutting expense. We gotta think long term. Dial olbi lagidel di one house. Ako mesingin $6 million. That's 6% of the budget.
National budget amor
that's a lot of money just to make a few laws. Guam only 15 senators, and there's 160,000. People on Guam.
800 million.
Why say? So why are we doing this? Let's put one house. I gave board na direct stop. Put under the minister. For example, FIB should be under the Ministry of Finance. Kadimit regel checklist Congressman.
To
the license. Ngaramuk morabor, the mukhtar expense. Another one, brother, which is I don't want to offend anyone. FIC. FIC purpose to prevent legal bankrupt. They always have to have liquidity. The depositors are lose who are the banks here? They're all FDIC banks. And who's watching them? The federal government, who has better auditors, who have CPAs who are reviewing their books. So why are we duplicating it with local people who don't know what they're doing? Maragom liquidator FIC and mula finance. There's only two banks here that are not FDIC. It's the Palau Investment Bank, Matele, Palau Commercial Bank. Bank. It doesn't take a rocket scientist tell mo adita books to make sure they're liquid. And that can be done under the minister with one person and one lawyer. Magagidal expense and magagidal cut. Dakabalgula board, you know. Anyway, another thing, if I was a congressman, I hope I don't offend anyone. If I'm a congressman now, emergency, I'll be the first one to cut my budget, my salary by 50%. Thank you. Tigida story Ngirmang. Brother Gida. Gida brother, Tora Maritime. Sel al Ruor Tial Vilas Pelu. The first thing you do, I get rogul lifeboat, tapos tirar mas maruba ka marangal kamal. Akabite ang radial to the last minute. As kumang dial betiga lifeboat ringi and sink with the ship. That's the name of maritime. Mga leaders ringi should be the first one to take a pay cut. That was if I was in their situation. That's the first thing I do. Like why? We're putting the message to the public. We are in an emergency pandemic economy. So as a leader, we'll take the lead. They will take a 50% across the board pay cut. That's what I'll do. Mal effect but we could save a couple of $1 million right away.
Chief Justice, President, 85,000, among 85,000, marada Vice President 65,000, marada Congress 50,000. Not even 50%, at least Alcatal angara 30%, 25%. At least lo otil waseng nga kumesa ulong malbadera natel budget la kumesa ni seguida was. Ak madengay dimde la 6 months mo Amerika. Hindi sa edel kata costa 6 months. Serulit yan. Especially kamo mesa kal to kon la government. Even ela kadir ko mesa mo iglesia sa Sunday. Olkeriil ang Olkeriil Sunday. Let's say Congress, for example, $3,000 committee expense tira bekil buil. The chairman of Rogo, of course, to allow 6,000 a year. you know, kung mesitir lom kalamla kabelmente, mesitir baka station, mala alura kabelmente. Tiyan dia kasan mal kura, mata resultu ko ato red rabla kau di momurang lagi masukkan lorek dadalit.
Ngirmang, dimle last year, ya President Ramasatral executed el 4-day work week. Dimle maknitra la dimla ka Adelbai ruli ala rimen ruli. Siya tara sabimle. El al time domestic entertain alone rawagoro state mensebril survivor tial. Baigiril delegate authorized tit mensebril ditit create a social revenue mortir. Instead of allow team alone. Ngiril mo innovative lo siga source although the meso iso. Talon e mergo tun around the morangal lo tutengira 8 million ek mo please bom loan al direct. You know. Como garay.
Hal ma question sengal state later. Hal mangray gel lurol ka the social no sis state al sukum de kam otra FIB ma QPB ma national government. Ngal so ka tax so ka uro kam
Sida tara gumisringi indirect tara aluide leng EQPB ma FIB ang artian and make a decision for a state. Well, suppose the state don't want the damn business. You're shoving it down their throat? Come on. I got state already mal nga ngariate mir I got legislature tir. But let decide for themselves. So tingala President Reagan ako taswakal to sa doilen gay Republican. It malo said the government should never do things which the people can do themselves. Les kum kadi murura relaat engkal ada di mo masay game na modalom daso. Na modalom daso masay what can I do to help myself? Masay akti milile Uncle Sam take care of me. Mangital mentality say. Again, kaya magigala entitlement mentality. Gaya dal stobay gay. Egal state Delegate Basilius as kumang tamot talgibale ngariak si ir ditil masawda. Etmo creative. A mind that tira mo statel bilil. Yo usigab es. Amal kayo katara ko klol tamire ngaringa national capital ang say. There's so many things they can do. But why they cannot do? Len directly dia kaklisi. Hopefully, skuma President Webs ngartial o mesertial show, please. It's time, tingin lang yan. It's time to state. More power to think for themselves.
Kamahal ko gir. Ngaraigel bomdas morangaur al sukum di amloot tertial membatre lang.
Dia kas.
Sama kasino le ko. Sum kami ako ngayon. Internet le ko. Mamisa rin ko ngayon.
Military. Kama welcome military. Gimla pass a resolution ra ang yaw state will welcome the military. Full blown. We're not afraid of military.
Ela mo ko niya se bolsa ela ngayon mangi di state el kongel was ang raluro ra mo so is ra bluri na ratiak.
Why say? Elang gusto ka.
Aududir malada lo di metarara na so government.
What's incredible Delegate Basilius I got state wala ba resources. For example, ngartmaw ngaya backside ringi. Ba Orior ka Rock Islands. Mairay they got the airport. I mean every state has something to offer. But why we not wala sa barira? Let tayo morir.
Hindi nga rin ko ngayon.
Okay, maluwin question. Based on study, there was a total of 5 million metric tons. Those ang ila 286 metric tons. Asyavala may 3.5. So estimate there's a minimum of 1.5 million to 2 million metric tons left. Ang magitre altama $600 per ton. So you take that multiply by 1.5 million. We're talking about almost $1 trillion worth of phosphate.
Hindi dia kasi ilmo mangi sa lang mga ngina national government.
Ma EQPB.
EQPB ma FIB ma.
Matol ati dim la mesik mo say we will never get an EQPB permit.
Kahalak ko psate lang gal imol reveal ng artial te platform. Tirakam la mo ko ra injustice to mil. Kawan mo sisi ang parliament. Maktiral akmal marang asuli le obang gayak nga mangirmang el altutaw congressman ngira trolley Shinji me Jackson I'm happy to see you. Ngaring isal mo Olkeriil corazon mo tukol dilya Abraham Lincoln E nga kakukswak sila nga rabi bilyal wase God helps those to help themselves. Maktirekal ko ra oreng sir kami tial to ko ra budget sel boto sa da budget ting mal cloth time do sa da sing ra sa edel gat ting ra mal too much mangara too little. Kora ka kekarel time a spend lo sing ra asab el revenue do o sige. Lendiway ka nga rabli memorura budget trakaw ma paim marang aligem ko ase okay ngara soizable paycheck al may ngara soizable udod al may melak magarapot o rudet tial budget tergid mo live within our means makadukti mo ngoy tay kel ngaring irigid o spe ay kel ngaring irigid o sigate al guk mo sa pedal marula clone revenue masel gukti akmal happy lo sa kamil sa sel guku lela constitution na kaumang Ngirmang makora gukti swa kadom daswertial kofal directial compact of free association sila dokotol mo independent tra 1994 I understand ang mle around the 70 some million ay kel gotolo daw dal mle rekit Johnson na sira ko kalangara presidency kung koram le kay nga sel mo negotiate another 250 million Melay gay di ako ramle kuk negotiated in. Ndik mal reminded der say the terms and conditions ra compact. Kita other bela kita build the economic development to be self-sufficient. Melasel dos other tial 8 million to each state ang Ngirmang. Til ang 8 million and mas tarira program a state wase tia 8 million now. What can you do to be self-sufficient? Makaraom developer tial state with this 8 million. Ngaring ya ultas, will get a program, malubeng ngora business opportunities, lobeng gel tial budget, alubet yang gukti masa daw det ya kay.
Ibakya sa ministry.
Melatil ay git sel kundas wental maled. Ental maled adabela lel sukumang ar mangutaling arigid marmared lawase 8 million ekora Melekeok state. Engirel mla ba first mga adu ar other Melekeok ka government ra Melekeok ka for normal legislature lawase ngara program ra kamiw. Ngara nga sa LTL state tal remove ruera al tulwas sa stamper sel 8 million. Same with Angaur.
Alam mo ay sir kalik aklangar al sel. Sir al Kotlstad nakamne kabno 80s. Ki testify am dal olbi ra bekrak. Ya saya budget ng esar 110,000. Elak med ngara 500,000 di kal testify. Pse do to guri rido ngara kom rirur ti nombre karra elu di kom spend el magram elak kom malar magram. Yam le condition sel time ase ngari certain percentage ged lo top del mora project. Mora ulo. Di dengan mora salary wa el al time. Pse do to guri rido gitem kedre mo tele angre bebira ay ka nga dir tal blo kurusira sela hearing leng. Dia gudingela se aku kata do mam na mawasa ikal mora a salary. Et mo se ay kan ko salary le ka project ni. Maktiril o ngir ding biak tilan mo ko niya mlewa isay emla mo dia. Oo.
Haladik make another point malungil analogy Irene Sil Obra Bank of Hawaii ang nga specific area masay handicap parking only. Why? Because they are handicapped. But to kay ka state be lawol handicap, especially ayang Southern Islands Pililo ngayaur outside the lagoon. Then dia ka compact road rtil. Here's a story ang ngayaur. Half of the national state budget goes to salary. Half adi madra tial bilas pelu. It keeps breaking down. It drinks a lot of diesel and we have problems with it, mechanical and all that works. Dia ka udod mo mrulang ra. Thank God I'm learning udod lay magatamrul kaldak and ding. They cannot use the money to do anything else. Leng di madra gagi del salary ma bilas. Handicap. So how do we solve this problem? Give them the power to decide for themselves because they know what they want. How many times sa national government tanong nga ba say kami rugul may kami mo is para somiu nga nga wish lister kami. They never do that.
So they can
link.
The congressman at the Legislator.
But recently we want the problem is only one person. Hopefully the whole Congress comes. Then everybody will vote on the issue. Let's say delegate if you're just the one person, you got 15 other ones. If they don't like your idea, they'll just swallow you. You don't really have the power to do it. Nga kamalong branga self freedom to think. tira sa really tilo siga lektolabar resources. Okmoral toy mang we have the power to decide for ourselves from Angaur. We have an international airport. It's already been pasrala. Angaur ma kidele pililiu or port of entry. And we can negotiate with airline to come to Angaur. And we can create our own industry. And we can for our own bond, we can find our own investors. We have investors mga as marami al time.
Makahalago gere legislator Henry. I got state nga business plan. It's state for economic development.
Ngari master plan the states
master plan for each state.
Plus aside from the master plan, we have one. Aside from that, we have private plans, which is much better. Private industries, private sector, create. Look mo mong Irene, we will be able to share the money with the national government. So instead of getting the 8 million, we'll probably give them more.
By petax.
Hal magamo oti example. Ngara lura sa MLOCSB, losis ba udon mo ngayon, amater mo kumros man national government, kamo oti.
Well, right now, agama malapas a resolution to support the medical cannabis. And remember, Angaur has the best soil in the republic. We have phosphate. We save the Japanese economy.
It's meant to have a medical cannabis farm there.
My apology. Comment aside. No, just a piece of history. Technically, we saved the Japanese agriculture after World War II because we shipped a bunch of phosphate to Japan. So we have the soil. We have the biggest man-made lake, which we can convert into aquaculture. There's a lot of things we can do, but how can we do it if we don't have the power to? We only can do so much. So as an handicapped state, gina nga priority ay handicapped state, especially the far-flung outside the lagoon. Give them a special treatment.
Gira la governor sa state del MCC, el Moaya Silver Abrigel. Ang governor of Texas at Trump ang Biden ang ngaramalong at ringil makaram. Ang governor of Texas a stand up.
Hindi governor sa Bela, di aklisiin.
Jackson, I like to share a good number because I'm a number man.
Okay, sure.
You told me that, you shared with the whole public of Palau that there's about maybe 1.5 million tons, metric tons,
yes.
Or to 2 million.
To 2 million, yes.
Okay.
That's
And each metric ton is $600.
Based on what I checked on the internet.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
right. Yeah.
Aside from the cost and so forth, let's just come up with it. And then it's about, if it's 1.5 million, it's $900 billion.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost a trillion.
What?
Right. And if it's 2 million tons, metric tons,
Yes.
it's $1.2
Trillion
trillion.
dollars. Yeah.
It is, if our economy runs on $100 million, if we have 1.5 million tons, metric tons, it is enough to run 9,000 years Palau.
Wow.
9,000 years.
Budget.
Yes. So we're sitting on a gold mine.
We are.
And we're not.
Yeah.
And for the environmental reasons, maybe we're not going to dig it all. But can we take it to the bank? And this is our negotiation.
Float.
Right.
Yeah.
Float rabandring.
Sure. But Irene, number nga is technology. So when they dig it up, they replace it with other soil. You don't have a gaping hole like Nauru.
No, but we got a problem here. We have to get approval from the majority in the jungle.
In the jungle.
Wow.
Give your opinion. Opinion.
No, that's not talking about the bauxite in Ngirmang.
I see.
And they have around 4.5 million metric tons left.
I see.
And
Is that a fact?
that's what I heard from them. The thing is, we're making ourselves beggars while we have the resources to we don't even have to, with $900 billion, we don't have to even dig oil. We have something in our hands already, and that's only Angaur, right? What about Pilliu? How much do we have? Then so we don't have to dig it all. Can we pass a law saying that we dig only 10%? And that is $900 million. That we bring into the bank, our own bank, and we invest in the infrastructures and we build our country. We have the means. It's our will. And askum diakap tulul, we can go forward.
It's very simple to do it. Other Congress, the Virulia la exempt, ikagid out the states, exempt igal state natural resources. Diakal apply FIB, diakal apply EQPB, diakal apply gil tukorada ulwasing gil national government in charge of exploitation. Ngirmang wagina national government. Kudruli say gid din gid existence igal la ngari lang multi simple word wasing exempt. Isabel was igal state exempt igal gid natural resources balu igal lungilul dasul boloru es lo spera la guideline. Es guideline. Asuntos ang state eskrana national government ng state hindi dia control. Tira decide was ngarame mangrabiak.
Tilap malungi lang Ngirmang. Aktire kay galol ko Shinji ay gamral klangal tangat radios. Dios lo makngal tangat tergit engire the triple. I mean ang Bible command you have to double and triple so kung mandiakeng mga ragitan mo oroid. Hindi kumaral was sa state dire kal asabel rulia kora ngil business plan. Of course you have a master plan. Til sumom kukti misal the phosphorus ako ngayaw ralo bang backside trangat mau really a specific business plan with whoever is a capital lender investor mel sabela national government mo ngil understander ngi ebolorula alla alwayel lol ko Ngirmang.
Lagi the review tell foreign investment policy giden mo be otra rada le gado spera un stadil girelaila endi suguma tell foreign investment policy gida they are changing
kita maran mo lubong dia kami kulingit med statra tilang le korakao el boranggang el bora Adelbai le bora Irene mergo bodo smring dia ngarangani atli bil kora meeting poringira US Embassy girela skela autodra morases ang isang
dalgok mamsaw dalgok mamsaw til ange at sabeledik kumadi talgibel start til ange et porcel mon korngi mga tilung ela kadamil saw tay kay gidel to koira investment mo regulations el girela igel major development ar sela bulur vela especially to kora oil to kora gas wa ang ayang obako oil magias seismic testing marokoy it proven mga el clo el major economic mebdula bulubelo mabulur nga kadamlam sa dat ko regulations ma ikipipin mo exempt hindi nga ka omrang alunga singkiren nga telgibel regulations hindi at least the bottom is ni luwas makarali isa up kay regulations and mo kuktiya kalsal mal will take so much and mo mga mo yang nga ka omrang itel to ko ra oil lang ayang 8 lolbil 9 lolbil mo 10 lolbil ra mo sa drin fight giren ang girel makatmok girel mo nga ring self study at least said di mo radril to silk mo luwas ang wangarak lungen madel et kyap ringi et tiran mo to mo ka to mo luwas mo wangara atletel akong marangal mula sa refinery dahil giren mga ring rebelaw at least they depel nga lora or we find somewhere else ikay kita sabihin hindi siya ikitin mo float at mabelaw ang ring levelur other program lang mo mabela ang ring oil ring total extraction hindi sabi ela kapalment mas state rang ayang algut makli yawngil el float ra pandring hindi na kultara revenue mera belur and those are economic self-sufficiency kita if we really want to go there mending girela ay regulations sa makatek tabol merek Hindi OPL ang mo mga maklel nga ka o marang mula sing mo tokoy yapol tokoy siya mo tara ko technical development la mo ngaring al sila bulubeno elwa direct hopefully yal tokoy ang ayaw na matokoy ra igel baby draft ay kalwa yang mal kloa ading korngi direct sub el mo tokoy hindi girela regulations mas tadin makatmok la government girel fully 100% support hindi akal girela politics mo involved ra state politics when it comes to their own resources ang bay girela government lo bitok le mo support ngarang ati akar kami mahalikim run mawngin ngarang ati pula attention tial government pa ikipipin mortil dulwasi agin mas kami 6 months bro like ang element kim passer olbi mal over git passer sa el mo
Lo masada mutal si limal tia mal heavy tia mal logrado masada ikidam la budget hal bay de kor kawa bom mulbong le lut mo polong simitira
Abong, under the closing statement about the budget issues, economic.
No, we're going to be maybe taking a loan for 30 million according to our new budget analysis. But we have money in the bank, in the funds, and we have over 300 million. My question, from a business standpoint, how much do we have to pay for the interest? And how, we have money in the bank. Why don't we use that money? And because that money is floating around, and then you'll be in the stock market and it rises and falls. But in the time of the situation where we are in right now, we have to go to the bank and not put the country in more debt. That's how we run our business. Yeah.
Saud kong itel mara closing rigida akti mal encourage our leaders belau President Mother Olbil, please, Aigal state should not be a welfare state. Let them have their own liberty. Tilo sigaw dudir through giving them more power to decide for themselves. Tiagida representative democracy, Irene. But somehow, nila Martin Luther King said, Talmolra, Washington, D.C. We came here to cash our check, but the national government told us NSF. Bagork masi, the Constitution of America masi, all men are created equal, blacks are equal. It's the same thing as state. State masi, you guys promised us a representative democracy, so give us our chance to find our own economic engine. Hindi akim depend on the national government. It's black grant sa dirulaga state tinitang okli di mangira black grant. And amo lazy. They become lazy. If we do that, Irene, we just save $8 million sectal budget. And then, even best thing about it is Shinji. They can put more money into the national government. So why only 100 million? Maybe we can double it to $200 million by the state helping the national government because we have the resources. Say that closing na. Thank you.
Misulang udalang Ngirmang ra tel toksor el al tutawati mosakal address ringit girela bacheta wase in reality ara other olbil am la pasering morahaw se wa sanik ingire terkibel tai tabel tergider ela leng momring la ada belak lugo mangyaw ay say mga kaomrang mula sa ikal state mo even international government may kal entities kita terkibel mo nga ringiya amok kataon ra to ko ra ureor malubing ingikele edudulwa sing non essential services al albol kataon a state dire kala mo filraring hindi ngongil katangar tel toksyaw makmal manday trarokul rigid marokul leaders rigid especially legal state. That's not the only hope. Ang Ngirmang adir kumamrek mura sa USTA or auto dringi grants may kesa rira state mo start lomes ang regal baby ra avenue sil sa edul guk maudo dringi lolong sewa ikal guk development trust state. A USTA rural development mangaringi toko era housing man sa Elmore say, agricultural development, toko era shares, you name it. Official time ang pato ka NGO ikal nga ra pero also baril direct lo say ikaw daw tulon nga siya ikal state. So let them be. Kadapay a state political kaya politics it talgi makloro. No. Ay gigil el man lagi the rokul to ko di nga politics. Kaya tan mo talgi nga politics ngul mom ere yung na table. O ko start tan maral mo ore kada papier may ka start lo si karole la.
O ikamal bagel trim rurak nga politics la ka bay to bang la ka ma public.
Why say la mo se bekel mo igel so akal mo.
Why say man maram.
Irene kamo mo simple hindi sa domes Tial budget al Ngirmang moria public hearing ringi. El antri merul ko sing labo yung ngari alok bel tri mael sin selmre le momreta tial budget. Tiang ram dia kal open ringi mora hearing ra ada chamber al bong ada access ada state ada por todo el Sweden ngari erul Sunday del Sunday model ka paskaw laule.
Aktira kal malong marar ka Ngirmang le also mo ko tirira tial bela rogil modum at least el open ringil moral legislature sumar governors ringil rockville states mabol kaldibel ngil 16 ekipo ka mamal private sector dire kal mal maral to ko tial to ko raw daw at timer ngreomel makmal mga lerar kuk migikarel at madire kal tirgel sorry il gora o mo ula ko ka toko ra siobay letir el guk tiakal ngara kabelment el angeng yang il time poto sub a financial literacy a gotor klo tutelel malso oy also mo guk tiakal angara loru atia internet mal sa el dio lol tay garo kuy YouTube ngarang klelendi kita atabela mal giret improve a financial literacy dikit mangbodia ka dito amdaso ase guk ngara grant talubeng guk ngaral donation mermatial 8 million el black grant tumom karang bay giret al momdas wase el aigal klangal tangatal diosa milski tertial balwat katal am karang sab edel remul mo all sis about those aktira kalmal marang asulir ko ka private sector Ngirmang komsawlem le printer ngira front page lagi ko koldub away kay gidel akmal le invite ra rockville governors wasem sendra tal redil rablumiu also ko mandia kalaw shoba el redil ngia pa mauspe ngi remurtel gire la programs ra shoba ra igal state mamlari ngar derstang makmal kamender ngel governor ng artmal ng mal sendra tarar redil may el gire la gidel sera international women's day agi mle hold ra workshop etial workshop amle also sa akra redil wase mebo dagdag rokuy edakay nga sew rulia toolkit kire la blur belaw mosab irar atara kongres mal mangutaling argit mo mrula la waseng ramo ngil la protect siobay oldub anti corruption laws leng direkal sel guk soadal masada tokoraw do engire dal ilgargik wase almer investors alubeng tirgel kidamru lol sisbertira business plan sergit regal state tol tirak la luuda other belaw al kuk masabak kargit other belaw mo ngila ka rule magis safe ngaringa transparency akmal di molot kay gel bulul kam tinge legislator Henry Arwa Switzerland ma Liechtenstein malungil la artir awon masabir welcome investors ra banking pekpatengela shobay lolgi sa rule tir malungil la artir tia ongit mara ko mga takled wase pomomesa tokoira la tokoira shobay pom rule kutmokol bawngil el anya time el gukta engom sab il spend that time el marula way kay kitulungil masadar tial budget maktioling itaguk lungu ara al morar bekla other belaw la katmaral timer om ngariom le timer albu le potungil lo mesel mor matat la dito mesel el alwaseng marma 8 million madil tong oklar adal ko dito oklay ka lobis the top dal mamru laureo po tarungudal el gukka wise malati lang Ngirmang sel kula akmal di makmereng asuli el guklobang kamam el altutaro Udesuall edolulu el girel tial budget mapolungil ra other bela ro kui maguk next week ra Friday.
Madako malm sulang tial ko amlo obra du endi maklo to telen to ora yo sang matugora udo iti ai gida kabelmentra te al ngal sel. Nete le mul de swede e mom dengai mo se dru lak ngar gida mongin magumya manno masaul de lagar el time e guk to the gira next Friday ma guk pol se be de lo top da gel guk ngam klo to tel to il gida mom dengai.